right now on Chronicle in high definition.
Here in New England, we're fortunate to have some of the strongest public school systems in the country, and our abundant selection of colleges is unmatched nationwide.
Top quality, too, among other New England private schools, including the highly regarded North Shore School Ted has for us now.
The Komodo dragon lives on the small island of Indonesia.
Back in September, what Garrett was able to do was kind of read multisyllable words more in chunks and not a complete, fluent word.
Perseverance, appliance, malignancy.
Nice. A year and a half ago, I think the list wouldn't have needed to be shorter. Danny may have needed to draw every single line on every single word that he read.
So when we are trying to persuade with oral communication, we must always start off with a need.
I love school, and I didn't love it before, ever. Landmark really helps you love to learn. I love to learn.
A love of learning came late to senior Eden Bello of New York City, sophomore Danny Cherkowski of Cohasset, and 8th grader Garrett Watley of Ayer. Before they arrived at the Landmark School in Beverly, keeping up with their classmates felt like climbing Mount Everest.
I would never learn like they would, and it'd always get me frustrated to the point where I'd come home and I'd be really upset. If you can.
Landmark specializes in language-based learning disabilities. These students haven't been successful in school, yet all have the capacity to learn, says headmaster Bob Brudeau.
They're bright, they're capable, they can problem solve, they can generalize, they're creative, they have great vision, but they're struggling with the process of language, the acquisition and the expression of language.
So you took out a word, so that's an
omission.
Omission, excellent.
Garrett was diagnosed with dyslexia at 6. For 5 years, he received all the extra help his school had to offer, but he didn't learn to read.
At my other school, I always had this teacher walk around wherever I went, and it was kind of annoying because she would always have to read stuff to me.
Alice Watley struggled with her son over homework every night.
We fought a lot to get the homework done. I did all of his writing. He did not know how to write cursive.
You need to figure out how to write the topic sentence and a thesis statement.
Here at Landmark, almost every student experiences academic success for the first time. Language and learning skills are taught throughout the curriculum. Classes are small, and all students have 45 minutes a day of one-on-one tutoring.
Our tutorial here is a real class. It's not homework help and support for other classes. It's its own class that's specifically tailored to the student. Accent this one, give it the punch.
Negligence.
Nice.
Brett Hall helps Danny attack challenging words by breaking them into syllables. When Danny arrived in 5th grade, he could barely read. Now, he's at grade level.
Keep the gas tank as nearly full as you can.
There's no magic cure. They don't all of a sudden become great readers, but hopefully by the time they've left Landmark, they've learned the strategies that they can use and take with them to help them through the rest of their life.
When classmates were reading in 1st and 2nd grade, Danny couldn't keep up.
I was in a big class and the teacher just couldn't, come to my aid.
Being singled out for help took a toll on his self-esteem.
And I'd always have to go with a teacher, and I always wanted to be just in the class like everyone else, like why can't I do that? And it broke you down.
When Danny was finally diagnosed with dyslexia in 4th grade, his parents collaborated with the school and hired tutors. But his son kept falling further behind, says Chuck Cherkowski.
We knew that we had to do something different, and I guess that's why I guess we're sort of lucky to have Landmark, which is a world-renowned school focusing on that, up in the Boston area.
For this child who's really struggling with a language-based learning disability, it's a neurological process. And in order to remediate the problem with that neurological process, it takes an individualized, intense remedial approach.
The price tag for that approach is steep, $45,000 a year. Local school districts fund about 40% of the students. The average stay at Landmark is 2.5 years. Landmark encourages every student to take part in sports, arts, and other after-school activities. Some students couldn't do that in their previous schools.
Sometimes they're not allowed to participate in sports or theater because their grades are too low. So they're in extra help every day after school, and they can't do the things that feed them and make them feel good.
Eden Bello's passion is photography. While she struggles with processing information and memory, she has strong visual skills.
So taking photos really helps me to stabilize the memories I really want to keep. really want to capture the things I really find important in this world.
Eden recently won an award for this triptych.
There's thousands of people, literally thousands of people. It's nationwide applying to this. I never thought in the history of my entire life that I'd ever win anything this big.
The moment I walked in the door at the elementary middle school is when I knew my life would be changed forever. The moment I walked in.
I'm reading, but I mean, I'm still trying to improve it a little bit more so I can get through life and have a good job, have a good education.
93% of our graduates are going into college, and they're all running across the state grabbing those diplomas, knowing that they had the options of 5 or 6 schools.
An achievement for students who once thought of themselves as academic failures.
That's so interesting. These learning difficulties have nothing to do with the intelligence quotient of these kids.
No, in fact, they find that, in fact, they have average to superior intelligence in many cases. So it's not a matter of intellect. It's a matter of sort of working around, as they talked about, these specific disabilities or learning issues.